Hey folks, it's Matt once again, and welcome back to another review. Hopefully the same time you're watching this, I'll have reviewed another Frank Henenlotter film, Basket Case, and you'll hear my thoughts on that one. Again, if you're a fan of this movie, and there is a DVD overseas that's a three-pack trilogy of all three films with feature-length documentaries and stuff. So again, just letting you know, this DVD really has no features other than I think there's a DVD here in the US that has a couple features. But again, from what I understand, the best version of this film is the three-pack from overseas, that DVD, because they're not only all three films, but it has feature-length documentary as well. But Frank Henenlotter definitely seems like an interesting guy, like I said in the review for this. And like I said before, he didn't make too many films. He did Basket Case 1, 2, and 3. He did Brain Damage, which I want to get on DVD one day down the road. I think the last film he did was Bad Biology. And then this film, which this was another wonderful gift by Ben Exodus 1. And that is by Arrow Video, the Blu-ray of Frankenhooker. And yeah, this is one of those few Blu-rays from overseas that is actually region-free. So it does play on my regular Blu-ray player. I don't have a region-free Blu-ray player, but this is region-free Blu-ray. And I said this before, but in case anyone is asking about the other Frank Henenlotter films, I'll review them when I get them one day down the road. Brain Damage, Bad Biology, the Basket Case sequels on that overseas pack DVD. One day down the road. But, you know, I'm saving up. But until then, Frank Henenlotter, once again, Ben, if hopefully he's watching, actually this one, thank you so much for that and this, as well as the others. Because this was a lot of fun to watch. I had a lot of fun with this. And I can't believe I forgot the guy's name. James Lorinz, who's the lead guy in this. I really enjoy this guy. This guy had a small role in a film I enjoyed called Street Trash, which I would like to review one day down the road. Not anytime soon, but love that movie, Street Trash. He has a small role that pretty much for me was a scene stealer. I really enjoyed his role in Street Trash. He was a lot of fun. And nice that he got the lead in this. And I like the Basket Case. I would say I like this a lot more because this one just this movie's not really meant to be fun, but this movie is meant to be fun. In fact, the director himself says this is meant to be as a comedy, not a horror film, and it makes sense. And real quick, like before I get into the plot, if you're a fan of the movie, you're wondering what's on this. Again, it is region free. There is an audio commentary with director Frank Henenlotter and star James Lorinz, and they both do an intro for the film. There's a making of Frankenhooker, which is about 45 minutes long, with director Frank Henenlotter, star James Lorinz, and special effects artist Gabe Bartalos. A personal tour of the Gabe Bartalos Effects Lab in LA. Interview with Patty Mullen, who is the lead lead character, to be honest. Jennifer Delora remembers Frankenhooker. She's someone who was, she was part of the cast. Interview with the effects guy. Little trailer reel, reversible sleeve, collector's booklet. A lot of features. It was really cool to see. And the film is a really fun movie. It's a really crazy movie, really out there movie. From what I understand, Frank Henenlotter had done Basket Case and Brain Damage at this point. And there's actually James Glickenhaus, who is guy who directed The Exterminator and The Soldier and that Jackie Chan film The Protector. He was a big, I guess, a producer guy around this time that Frank Henenlotter knew. And Frank Henenlotter had this idea for James Glickenhaus. James Glickenhaus didn't really like it, so he's like, hey, what else do you have? And Frank Henenlotter didn't have anything. And from what he said, he made up this whole movie on the spot. He's like, it's a Frankenhooker with the blah 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 blah. Like he made most of this film up on the spot. And then James Glickenhaus said, throw in, you'd always do a sequel to Basket Case, so maybe throw that in and you got your movie. So he did Frankenhooker and Basket Case 2 back to back. I'm not sure which came out first. I think he did Frankenhooker first, and then he did Basket Case 2. I believe. I could be wrong. But I know he did both films back to back. And this is just a crazy movie. I mean, James Lorinz, who I really enjoy, I really like him. He has this dry wit delivery. He's definitely a New Yorker. He's a fucking New Yorker. I mean, he's a New Yorker. He's definitely a New York actor. That's not really New York. I don't know what I'm doing, but he's a scientist, even though and he's a doctor also. He's pretty much been kicked out of places, and he has his girlfriend, and he's even doing this experiment with this brain, and this thing has like one eyeball. He's like, let's see that peeper. And he's like trying to, hey, follow me. So this brain and this liquid with an eyeball is like following him. Practical effects, fun practical effects. And it's funny, you think he's in a lab, and then when it pulls back, you realize he's in a fucking kitchen. And the mom of his girlfriend sees all this, and is like, excuse me, can I have the ketchup? Oh yeah, sorry. And I'm doing a shitty New York accent. He gives her the ketchup, and then they have this party, and his fiance, he gets her pretty much a present for her fiance's dad, a remote control lawnmower, but she stands in front of it and she gets killed by a lawnmower. And this film is not that bloody, and Frank Henenlotter did that on purpose because he wanted more of a comedy, not a horror film. So you have some crazy stuff in it. It's not bloody though, but this still got an X rating, or they talk a little bit on it's definitely on the commentary about that stuff, and the MPAA being dickheads and stuff like that. Because she gets killed by a lawnmower, but it's done in a way that's not nasty. I don't know how else to describe it. It's not like Maniac from 1980 or anything like that. It's done much more of a comedic way. James Lorinz is distraught from it, and he even has that eye brain thing in his fucking fish tank. And he's chatting with his mom, who brings him some food. She's like, oh, you need to go out there and meet another one. And he goes to like the garage, and you realize he actually took some of the parts of his fiance and stored them, because he's like Frankenstein. He is pretty much Frankenstein. Instead, it's Frankenhooker. He wants to bring his fiance back, like Frankenstein didn't do that, but bring the dead back. And you can tell he's losing his mind. I mean, he does this weird thing where, kind of like the weirdest case of acupuncture. He takes a drill and he drills it into him, just to a certain spot that makes him relax and not be stressed out. I'm like, he could just do that. But I guess instead of doing that, like most guys would, he just. But hey, I mean that's more interesting than seeing a guy go that. I mean, let's be honest. It's weird. It's different. It's nothing that I've seen too often, and it shows that he is losing it. And even has like the head of his fiance, and feeds her fucking wine and shit. Pretty much having wine with her head and her parts. And oh, you actually have a TV personality, Zachary. He makes a little appearance because I think he was the voice of that creature in Brain Damage, but he couldn't get credited because of SAG. So Frank Henenlotter got him on this, so he could make a little money on this movie. But this is after he put his self-drill, and pretty much he realizes what he needs to do is he gets parts. And he said, how to get parts? And it's like, oh, hookers. And sort of sees them out and scouts for hookers and sees this big guy, big burly guy named Zorro, who's his pimp, and realizes that he's selling crack to these women, and gives James Lorinz a couple ideas. So he creates this thing that's super crack that will make you explode. He tests on this hamster. Now, this is what I mean by the director didn't want blood, and I get what he means because it makes the comedy work a bit better in this film, at least. Not all films, but in this film. Like, if you saw the hamster blow up and it's blood and guts, you'd be like, the fuck? Yeah. But when he just goes poof, whatever the hamster, he does the super crack. Listen to what I'm saying, folks. This is part of the reason why I like the movie. That's how bad shit it is. And the hamster just goes poof. Like, it goes poof. I don't know how else. If you see the film, or if you've seen the film, you'll know what I mean by just poof. And he even goes, they can just say no. So in a way, it's sort of a big anti-drug message as well. As I saw Brain Damage once a long time ago. I think the DVD only has a commentary, but I would like to pick that movie up again because I remember liking the film. But in a way, I remember that film being sort of anti-drug message. In a way, this is too, because he's like, they can just say no. But when he gets with the women and he gets all these hookers, and you do see nudity and nice ones as well, nice tits and all, and just he wants body parts. So, oh yeah, I'm a doctor, and he's just the way it's done. Oh, nice. What the hell was it? I think he's looking at a tit or a nipple. It's like, oh, that's utterly awesome. Nice buoyancy too. And looking at an ass, and he gives like a big check mark on an ass cheek. I mean, that's the kind of movie he is. But then, kind of interesting thing, James Lorenz has a change of conscience, and he goes, "I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you guys, I brought you guys out here. I can't do." He can't. He's not going to go through with it. He has a change of conscience, which I thought was an interesting idea, because you could have just gone with the one note, yeah, take it, but do it, blow up, and that's it. He's evil. He's 100% evil, crazy, batshit. No, I like the fact that he has a little bit of change of conscience, and then, of course they're bitching about, what about the money? And he's like, fine, is that all you care about, the money? Here, play with the dirty money. But they find a super crack. And even James Lorenz, he's going, no, don't do that. Don't take that. No, don't do it. It's dangerous. He's telling them that it's dangerous. But these women, like McGruff the crime dog says, just say no. And if they said no, they'd be alive. But because they said no, they take the super crack, and pretty much they smoked it. And at that time, that pimp guy, the big burly guy, Zorro, he's not the best actor, but it's still kind of fun to watch. Like, where are my bitches? And like, apparently there was like a real wooden panel, and he like smashed through it. Apparently that was for real. He really did smash through it. That's how strong the guy was. But these hookers who took this, they start exploding. And Frank Henenlotter's direction was no blood and guts, just a lot of fireworks and explosions. And that's what you get. They pretty much light up like the 4th of July. And practical, and it just... And Frank Henenlotter seems like a lot of fun. He's like, I would love to do a sequel, just blow up hookers throughout the whole movie. And this is fun. It's fun to watch because it's not blood and guts gory. In most films that would work. Here it works as when they blow up, it's fireworks and the heads popping off, and even a leg becomes like a rocket leg, and point of view of the rocket leg. And there's one woman, the last woman actually tries to kill James Lorenz, and she explodes, and the pimp opens the door, and the head of the hooker slams into the guy's face and goes down to the ground. And even when James Lorinz is picking body parts, like, I'm sorry this happened. You know, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. I'll fix all of it. Before I get into it, apparently Bill Murray was a big fan of this movie because I guess at the same time he was directing that film Quick Change, and so I guess where this film and that film they were editing and stuff around the same way, and Bill Murray was able to see the film. And there's a nice little story on the making of about that, and about how I guess when the film actually came out, you got a quote from Bill Murray, a really quote about there's one movie to see this year, let it be Frankenhooker, and I thought that was kind of cool. It's kind of cool that Bill Murray was able to sit down seeing a movie like Frankenhooker. It is, um, but and he starts creating and has a fucking welding mask to weld it. He actually has a tray of tits. Yes, a tray of tits. Uh, Looking at a leg, and he screams, "No, bunions!" and like when the Frankenstein scene pops up, the words he says is "good luck," and then puts it up. I mean, just a weird thing to say. Just good luck. And it rises up and zaps with electricity. But then when she comes back, she is now thinking like all the hookers. So all the dialogue she says is stuff that you heard before in the film that the hookers had said. Like, one a day? Got any money? It pretty much knocks James Lorinz out, and she goes out and goes back to sort of the scene of the crime, saying, "What a day? Got any money?" Find this one guy, and pretty much a few people who tried to deal with her, they explode when they try to deal with her. Like this one guy, he's grinding, and the guy below him explodes. And it's just his head left. And his head says, "Oh, that was wonderful." I like that. It's the craziest shit movie. It's one of the shows you guys just see to believe. Um, and then like James Lorenz is looking for when he wakes up. And he's looking through New York, and even encounters a Swedish guy that I swear to God, and they even mention it in here. He's a spitting image of Rutger Hauer. It's not Rutger Hauer, but the director is talking about how some people thought that was Rutger Hauer. They mention on the documentary on the commentary. But he's talking Swedish. And even James Lewis says, "What, you some kind of Swede? What, you talking in Swedish at Times Square?" I can't do New York, but... And pretty much again, these people try to fuck with her, and they explode, and the guy's head gets thrown out the window. You have the Zorro pimp guy talking one scene. He's like, "What made they're my bitches? That's made they're all over the place." But then this one guy, creep type of guy, tries to sneak in with this girl and tries to go under the table. You know why? And you just see his legs shake and it explodes. And even James Lorenz, he's trying, and like you see in movies, those crazy religious guys that has those signs. He's like talking about it, about whatever. And James Lorenz says, "Have you seen her?" And he's like, "She's in the bar." And then when he comes out, he goes, what did he say? "I told you! I told you! I told you!" I guess that guy, that religious guy, is the guy who played the Santa in that scene in Jacob's Ladder, which I never would have recognized, but on the commentary, apparently that is the guy. And I looked up, it is the guy. Interesting enough. But pretty much gets back, able to, because at that time Zorro, the pimp, realized something up. Actually knocks her head, not quite off, but almost off, and fucking lights are sparkling up, electricity. James Lorenz gets her back, fixes her up, gets her to be normal. Zorro pimp guy comes back, cuts up James Lorenz's head off. But then, I didn't mention until now, when she got brought back to life in the electricity, it also zapped into the body parts. And it's this purple goop that James Lorinz uses to help bring them back to life. And so the body parts are sort of amalgamated, so you have like this, I don't know what the hell you call it, but there's like a mouth on top and like a head. Like this is something you see in a Stuart Gordon movie, like From Beyond or something, but a Reanimator. Just these weird sort of creations, and they attack the pimp that got him on this. He's the one that got him on this track, which ultimately that's what led them to their deaths. If they just said no, they wouldn't. They would still be alive. And the guy gets taken care of, and you find the little twist ending where she brings James Lorinz back to life. The only problem is the purple goop only works on women, so he got put on a woman's body. And of course, he doesn't take too kindly to that, and that's how the movie ends. So yeah, this movie's just a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this movie. This movie is only 80-some minutes long. I thought it went at a fast pace. I mean, hell, you got fucking hookers exploding. You got brains with an eyeball and fish tanks. You got a big burly pimp named Zorro. You have a super crack. James Lorinz, I really like him as an actor. He didn't go on to do too much, unfortunately. He was in a tiny role in RoboCop 3, which, I mean, didn't help him out. It was only a tiny role, but still. And I wish this guy would have gotten a lot more work, because I really enjoy him. I really liked him as an actor. I thought he had a nice, dry delivery to his lines. And he pretty much plays it seriously, but he just did a good job just with the outlandishness of the situation. And it's just a batshit crazy plot. And apparently Frank Henenlotter had a lot of trouble making the film because one DP didn't do jack shit, and then the other DP for some reason hated his guts and made his life hell. From what I understand, this is like the toughest film he had to make. But I had a lot of fun. I mean, I liked Bastard Case OT, but I would definitely have to go with Frankenhooker. It was just a lot more fun and just really entertaining. I really enjoyed it. I really got a kick out of it. It was nice to see all these features as well. So, Ben, Exodus 1, all I can say is thank you so much. It was a lot of fun to watch this movie. It was a ball and a half. Great fun. But either way, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you on the next one. Later.